Today we are going to talk the subject of what's he thinking when. And this could mean anything you can imagine, from when he's either upset or when he's thinking about something else. A lot of times it happens when you're quiet. And the tendency is, and all of us do this, is once something happens in a relationship, all of us want to interpret it based on what's familiar to us. So with all the women I talk with, most of them are what I call verbal processors. They think as they talk, not always. And if something's wrong, they may not say it initially, but as they're talking, they're figuring it out. They don't necessarily know what they need or know what they want. So in the process of talking, when someone talks with them, that helps them think. It's not good or bad, it's just the way they view things. And then when their man does something, the guy they like does something, it's strange to them, it's not familiar. Another way to put it is they can't relate. And so they wonder, when he's quiet, is he mad? Because sometimes when he's quiet, he is mad. Sometimes he says he's just quiet, but it looks the same. It feels the same. It sounds the same. How is she supposed to know the difference? Well, we have an event coming up on Monday called What's He Thinking When? We're going to go into all of these details. We have a link down here at the bottom that my talented assistant and lovely Misty will put in. And you can click on that. It tells you details about it. It'll be Monday at 6:30. So it's more than we can go into today, but I wanted to give you just a taste of this today. Because rather than me go through every scenario, is he mad, is he not mad? I know that's what folks want. Can you just tell me? The problem is there's no way to go through 1,000 different scenarios. Is that I can answer all of them, but if you have to remember 1,000 different things, where women do really well is where they have an overall either understanding or a guiding principle. And the same thing I tell men. When men will ask me, what does she need? I never can figure out. I said, let's focus on one thing. I said, tell me what makes her feel secure. Tell me what makes her feel secure. And granted, if you just ask her, she's going to go, I don't know, or she's not, might not even like the question. I said, you have to observe a little. You have to pay attention. More specifically, when does she get scared? What really upsets her? And some man says everything. I said, stop. You're not paying attention. You have to be like a detective at this. Have a sense of curiosity. For some women, financially, that's important for every woman, but that's a really sensitive subject. Maybe she grew up poor. Maybe she's gone through a divorce and she felt like her husband took everything from her, so she's very afraid of that. It may be loudness. She grew up in an abusive home or where there's a lot of anger or temper going on. And so tone is very important to her. Some of that just by asking around, if we know what it is that makes her feel safe, I say, then give her more of that. Again, it's the experiment. If he has that guiding principle, then he can make good guesses. In the same way, ladies, if we understand some basic things about men, and you think about those things ahead of time, that saves you when you're in the instance. Because what a lot of times happens is, I don't want to think about stuff. I just want to be me. I just want to hang out and do my stuff. And then when something comes up, somebody just give me the answer. Well, the problem is I'm not around, or other folks aren't around. And you don't want me hanging around all the time. For both of our sakes, that would drive us both crazy. So as much as I would love to just tell you everything, if I give you this principle, which is men actually crave peace. That at the end, that's what they want. That doesn't mean necessarily just sitting and doing nothing. Drama or interaction or talking things out a lot of times energizes women, and it's cathartic. It helps them get these thoughts, these feelings out of their head, out in front of them, so they can look at them, see which ones they like. I like this one, I don't like that one. They can sort them. They can keep the ones they like. It's helpful. So the idea of sharing and the idea of doing something in groupthink or in groups, women tend to do better in school when they're in groups or clusters than just individually. Men more so like to figure things out for themselves. Not that teams don't work out with men, but a man has his own way of doing something. Sometimes it doesn't make sense, but he does have a way of doing something. And the process that for him to ask for help or him to do things is going to feel like a failure. So when he is around you, it's not the extreme that some women will take it, which is, oh, all you want me to do is be nice and fluffy. I say, no, it's not all I want you to do. But how you make him feel, how he feels around you is going to be the main indicator of whether he wants to spend more time with you, whether he starts thinking about a lifetime with you. If he's married, how often he wants to come home and stay and linger with you. Those things do have the biggest impact. And if I know he craves peace, that doesn't mean leave him alone. What that means for his sake is that you're easy to please. And easy to please also doesn't mean just agree with everything he says, but peace is where he feels like he can connect with you fairly easily. See, the cathartic process, that's for your girlfriends. And that's okay if he does that for you. Sometimes you may just need him to. So what he's thinking, if you do that cathartic process and want to talk and process, is he's thinking he's overwhelmed. And sometimes women will say, if he loved me enough, or did he love me? If he loved me, he would. I'm like, no, whether he loves you or not, it's still overwhelming. whether he loves you super deeply. He may try longer, but it's still overwhelming. He doesn't do and think the way that you do. He wants to connect. Men do. He wants to connect very much, but his way of connecting is different than yours. It ends up feeling the same way. In other words, it feels warm, close, intimate, tender. It feels that. But he has a different way of doing that. And it's not your way or his way. The idea is that both of you sort of play off each other. I mean, most men, if you get them in a quiet place where they're calm, understand that buzzing that women do, either the chatter or the way she sees stuff differently, it's different. And men joke sometimes about being annoying, but deep down, they find it fascinating. They find it intriguing. It's like a breath of fresh air, because when she's not around, it's quiet. And over time, it's lonely. So when I talk to women, I'm not asking them to be a man pleaser. I mean, like all the time a man pleaser. I'm asking them, think about his core need. What's he thinking when this goes on, as opposed to the thing we go to? When in doubt, I'm scared, I go to what I fear the most. Doesn't love me, never did, doesn't care. Think about the last fight. My problem is that's not accurate. The first place I'm asking you to go is, at least with this one, is what's he thinking is that he's probably overwhelmed. Now, this is just a sliver. I mean, this is the smallest of slivers of what we're going to do on Monday night. If you like this, hit the like button below, leave a comment. If you have any other questions, join us on relationshipheadquarters.com and visit us here at YouTube. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.